Hello everybody, this is Iced Blood. Welcome back to A Realm Reborn. Hi Leon. Alright, so whatever problems were coming up with my internet connection at the end of last video, they seem to have stopped. Hopefully. So, we will continue with the quests that we had and see where they lead us. More Spriggan Tumblers! Jittering Jig. These guys are great. Okay, 2 out of 4. We've got halfway done. There's some more. Not too hard to figure this one out. The quests aren't all that difficult in this game, to be honest. And, well, okay, they get a little more interesting, but... Hey, wait a second. What the... Game, I just said that the issues had resolved themselves. Why you gotta make me a liar? Why you gotta play me like that? I'm not even gonna try and sound like that's stupid. Anyway, why are you doing this to me, game? This isn't funny. Hello, Chumbler! Chumbler. There you are! Little ninja. Speaking of ninja, as I understand it, in one of the more recent patches, I forget if it's 2.3 or 2.4, there's a new job. A new class/job. The Rogue and the Ninja, if I recall correctly. I'm not sure if I'm going to check that out with Elion here. He definitely seems magey. I don't want to go in such a different route with him. But that could be interesting. The thing about this particular MMO is the simple fact that you can access every class and every job on a single character, which is probably why they permit you to pay a lesser amount per month to only have a single character. See, I have the standard subscription, that's $15, kind of the go-to standard for MMOs of this nature, and with that I can make, I think it's 8 characters per server, up to 40. I can make that many characters, whereas if I were to, I could shave off a couple dollars and have only access to one. I'll get to why I didn't do that later. Hold on. I told her so. I told her! What the hell is that incompetent little runt doing anyway? Whereas orders like this may be, we should always be keeping hammerbeak ribs on hand. Well, here's some ribs on hand. Well, I'll be damned. Guess the girl found a way after all. Thanks for the help, venturer. Don't quite understand it myself, but them fellas straight said to do it the old way. Even though we could be using shards to refine silver faster and cheaper. Well, ain't my guild, so that's how they want it. This goes to show that the Thaumaturge's guild's got more money than it knows what to do with. God's what I wouldn't do to have that kind of problem. Thaumaturges are rich? No one told me. Ooh, hey, let's grab some ether. Could be useful. Hey, level 11! Yay! Yay! Okay, so... Well, you know what? I'll get into my whole theory on different characters when we finish these quests. Let's turn these in and see what goes on. We're in. So, the Spriggans were responsible. Little critters gnaw on ore as a hound on a bone. The rocks on the track were their goddamned leftovers. Some superstitious miners believe Spriggans are harbingers of fortune. By my reckoning, the creatures are not more than pests, like goblins. As far as I'm concerned, there's no better omen for Amagina and Sons than you. Ever since you began helping out at the station, our operations have been running without so much as a single hiccup. Alrighty. Let's see. What are we gonna grab? Let's grab the staff. Let's do that. Thank you, sir. Alright. Ooh, a different quest giver. Well, let's put on our new staff. Might as well. Here we go. Ramhorn staff. Looks absolutely identical to the one we had before. Alright, let's pick up these two. Zazita. Gemstones. Okay. You there. Help me. A mischief of Qiqirn has stolen our cargo. A mischief? Cool. The thieving rats love anything that sparkles. and they've made off with several coffers of precious gemstones. The Overseer will flay me alive if he finds out. I beg you, help me get the gemstones back. Seems simple enough. The Qiqirn fled to their lair to the southwest. Follow the tracks. You're bound to find them. Alright, simple. We'll do that. And we'll also pick up a new quest from Zuzumeda. The most amazing rumor. Ah, the altruistic adventurer. I was hoping we'd bump into each other. Why? Because the most fascinating piece of news recently reached my ears and I'm eager to share it. May I? Rumor has it that there's a vast untapped vein of ore beneath the ruins of Silda. But that is not all. Inconceivably, the concern appears to be entirely ignorant of its existence. And even as we speak, a young upstart, a self-made merchant from Stonesthrow of all places, is moving to claim it. The fellow's name is Wystan, and he's a very, very ambitious young man. Not only does he intend to secure exclusive excavation rights, but they say his master plan is to use his new fortune to curry favor with the Sacrarium. Of course, the thaumaturges only consider the opinions of the most wealthy when drafting the laws of Ul'dah. If you'd have your voice heard, you must be prepared to pay a sultan's ransom. One voice which is invariably heard belongs to Lord Lolarito. He's long lavished gil upon the thaumaturges, and some claim that he devises new laws with the express intention of ruining his competitors while protecting his own interests. Suffice to say, if Wystan thinks he can compete with the likes of the Syndicate, he's in for a rude awakening. But that eventuality may yet be a little way off. For the present, he's moving ahead with his plans and assembling a team to survey the site. I'm told he's at the Coffer and Coffin right now, recruiting able-bodied adventurers to escort his prospectors. Warren said you were looking for work. Mayhap you should meet Wystan and volunteer for his expedition. That was going really well until I ran into the word prospector of all things. Okay, so let's do the Qiqirn thing. In the court of the Rat King. Let's do that first. Okay. We won't bother with that. Because we're too low, and it's not really going to do much for us. We can participate in a fate. We can, like, fine-tune our level to be, like, equivalent to the level range of the fate. But the reward that we'd end up getting is really not worth it. We'd get some experience and some gil, same as we will with any fate, but really it's like astronomically small. So let's find these Qiqirn. The mischief of Qiqirn. So what I was saying before is that the reason that I chose to pay the extra couple dollars for the extra characters really has nothing to do with mechanics, because I can... The thing is, your stat increases, which you have some amount of control over at certain levels, they don't actually mean much in the sense of like fine-tuning your character. I thought maybe it meant that it would be best to have at least one spellcaster character and then one melee character, but you can reset your skill point choices when you switch classes, so really there's no point mechanically to having multiple characters. The reason that I like to do it is primarily because when I make a character in an MMO, I come up with a story behind it. I figure out who the character is as a person. I'm a writer by trade, so that's kind of where my headspace is no matter what I'm doing. And so the prospect of having only one character do everything, you know, the jack of all trades idea, kind of interesting, but I prefer to have a more diverse roster just for the hell of it. So basically, what I'm saying is, if we do take a look at the new class, which I do want to do at some point or another, because, you know, it sounds pretty cool, it will be on a new character. And probably, I think, the rogue starts in, what's it called, Lominsa, something to that effect, the port city, basically. So it'll be a whole new storyline, too, in the beginning. That'll be fun. So I think we'll probably end up doing that at some point, just to get the opening quest lines and stuff from a different city, just to see where it goes. Okay. Doesn't look like these guys drop anything. So they're just kind of here to make things interesting. Wonder why that second one didn't show up. Oh well, I'm not complaining. Sort of. I don't mind. Whoops. Whoa, 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 hold on. Let's not make this more complicated than it has to be. I still don't have heal yet, so... or cure, I think it's called. All I've got is a bunch of potions. So let's just be a little more careful. Qiqirn Shell Sweeper, huh? Interesting. I like the different races that they've added to Eorzea, you know? Like, none of these races... I mean, some of them are throwbacks. We've seen Cactuars, we've seen Moogles, we've seen Chocobos. Different races are, you know, the mainstays of the franchise. We've seen those, and I'm sure there are others. But the fact that there are different ones, you know, new ones in Eorzea that aren't in other games in the franchise, at least I don't think they are, that kind of adds a bit of diversity to the whole thing. And it's not just, you know, us going through a bunch of old places that we've all seen before and just going through rehashes of old storylines. I really like how they've handled this mixture of nostalgia and innovation. It's a nice, really nice balance. Another one. I wonder what that level 50 dude is. Ovjang? We could try and kill it, but I'm guessing that wouldn't go very well. So I think we'll let him do whatever the hell he wants. Looks like Marvin the Martian almost. Or maybe I'm out of my mind. We'll take him out. Ooh, we joined a fate. What the hell fate are we in? Babaroon Half-Shell. Let's see, prefers his prey firm on the outside and runny on the inside. Something to keep in mind when he has you in an iron cookpot boiling over an open flame. Now get cracking before he grows hungry. Oh, I get it. Half-Shell, like eggs. He likes eggs. I think? I wonder if does Babaroon have a meaning, or is that just a random, like, mishmash of syllables? Bubbly pot, blah, blah, blah. We're not gonna... No. I don't think we're gonna bother with this guy. But we can use the, wait a second. Hold on. Can't even reach... You know what? We're gonna go out... Actually, we're gonna go out and do it a different way. Get outside of the camp and see if we can't reach that last coffer from another angle. Let's try up here. Hey! There we go. I think we can get it. There it is. Can we get it from here? Yes! Haha! We gamed the system! Take that, Qiqirns! I wonder if that's the right plural for Qiqirn. Qiqirne? Qiqirni? Whatever. They're all gonna get murdered eventually anyway. Elion might look adorable, but I think he's got a genocidal streak. Watch out. I've had some weird theories about this little guy. I've actually played him in a D&D session that I had once. Friend and I were going to D&D Encounters, which is just an official Dungeons & Dragons game run at various comic shops, and there was one in the town we live in, so we decided to check it out, see what was going on. And we were trying out the new edition of Dungeons & Dragons. It came out a little bit ago. Well, actually, it's been a few months now. The 5th edition was on its way in. It was just getting started to be released. They were testing out the rules, and they had given out a bunch of different, like, you know, packets of the new rules for people to try out. And I got a wizard, and it was an elven wizard, and I thought that it would be interesting if I were to play little Elion here, who's not quite an elf, obviously, but he does have pointy ears, so he almost counts. I thought it'd be interesting to play him in a D&D game. I didn't get much of a chance to really roleplay, which is what I like to do when I'm playing D&D. That's kind of the whole focus for me. But, you know, it was interesting, and I had some really weird theories about what he liked to do and the sorts of things he got himself into. Looks like there's plenty of people. I think we can actually manage this one relatively quickly. I don't think we have to worry too much. about how long this will take. I think that one time outside the coffer and coffin that took 4 minutes and I had to speed it up, I think that was kind of an anomaly. That was when there weren't very many people playing and there weren't enough players there to make it worth it, really. Although thankfully there was at least one tank so that I didn't end up, you know... Well, I think there was an earlier video where I had a fate where there was a big guy, one of these like big enemies that take forever to kill, that was chasing me. I think there was one of those. But thankfully it didn't turn out like that. Ooh, nice. 1600. Very cool. Alright. So we got that one done. Let's get that done. Before we do the main scenario, I want to get this one out of the way because it's kind of a side thing. And for all I know, we might not end up back here for a little while. So we might as well just turn it in now. What the hell is that? I'm not sure I want to know. Maybe it's one of the adamantoises or whatever. I think that's what they are. Zazeda! You're back! Please tell me you've retrieved the gemstones. I'm not sure if my mic picked it up, but my cat is in my lap right now, so if you can hear any scratching or whatever, that's what it is. Oh, the Qiqirn used to be honest merchants. Some of them even lived in Ul'dah. But then the beast men were banished from the city, and the Qiqirn lost their livelihood. Some turned to thieving and other petty crimes to survive. It's a sad tale, but sadder still that most of the citizens couldn't care less. Thank you for using the right phrase. Couldn't care less. I like you guys. Whomever wrote this, you're awesome. We're going to take that because the pants aren't actually worth anything for us. It's a downgrade, and we don't really need that. We don't need that kind of thing. We're fine. Alright. So while we're heading off to speak to Wystan, I'm going to give you an example of the kind of crap that Elion got himself into. Ooh, another fate. Which one's this? Let's see what's going on. That'll give me a chance to tell you what I was talking about. So... the basic rundown, as I recall, is we were in a cave. The adventuring party was in a cave. We were like on the plane, the elemental plane of Earth or something, right? And there were these little rodent things. And after we'd killed them, I asked how big they were, and it turned out that they were rather tiny. And so what Elion ended up doing was he took the skull from one of these little rat things and fashioned an eye patch out of it. I had hoped that the rats would be big enough to make a mask out of their skull, but since they were so tiny, I decided the eye patch would suffice. So that should give you a kind of an idea of how eccentric and kind of nutzoid Elion is in my head. As adorable as he looks, he's got some issues. So, you know, it's a weird story, and everyone I've told it to gets this really weird look on their face, like, what the hell's wrong with you? Honestly, I don't know. But for the most part, like, I don't try and force my characters to do anything, and usually what I try to do whenever I'm either role-playing or trying to write a new character is I basically let them decide what they're doing. I try and... It's a weird exercise, and it's hard to really explain what I do, but what I try and do is basically sit down with a new character and talk to them, ask them questions, and see what their answer is. Now, obviously, this character is not real in my head. I'm not schizophrenic. But it is a very interesting exercise, and for the most part, it's always kind of served me well when I'm working with characters. And Elion making an eye patch out of a rat skull was something that kind of jumped out at me. I hadn't expected it, so that's just him. That's all him. Wystan! Come to join? Sorry, but you're too late. Some brass blades, looking for extra coin, volunteered. The team's already en route to the ruins. But, look, I know it's not easy to find work these days. If you're interested, there's something else you can do for me. There are these children outside, little ones from Stonesthrow. I look after them when I've got time to spare, and so they've taken to following me around, even when I tell them not to. But what with overseeing the search for the vein, I barely have a chance to visit the privy at the moment, much less entertain younglings. Can you give them these ginger cookies and convince them to go home for me? I like how these little errands are part of the main scenario. Kind of adds a little flavor to them. I ain't going nowhere, mister. Too hungry to move besides, so you'll have to carry me. Have a cookie. A cookie? Well, if Wystan really wants me to go home, then alright. But I want 2 next time. Alrighty. Number 2. But Wystan always plays with us. Why won't he come out and play? Wow, a ginger cookie. I better save some for my brother. I know! I'll go home and eat it with him. Wystan's kind to us. I like him. Cookie! This for me? I want to eat it, but then again I don't, because then it'd be gone. Tell Wystan thanks, and tell him I'm sorry for getting in the way. I like playing with Wystan. He makes sure no one bullies us. Cookie time! Wystan's worried about us. Well, I don't want to make him worried. I'm a good girl, so I'll go home. I like to think that those lalafells weren't actually children. They were just tiny adults, like, because all lalafells basically look the same. And that they were actually just trying to get free cookies. Anyway, let's see what Wystan says. Thank you, adventurer. I only wish I could do more. Stonesthrow is no place for a child. Not that my childhood was much happier. Never enough food to go around, nor work to earn it, but no shortage of contempt from the great and the good. I remember thinking things could only get better, yet now after the calamity and everything else, first refugees be forced to live outside the gates like bloody beastmen. It's a disgrace. They say with enough money you can change the laws here, so I'm gonna make a fortune and do just that. I'll buy the excavation rights and start my own mining business. Then, I'll give my fellow refugees the work they're crying out for and pay them fairly. The mining companies have profited from our suffering for too long, but in their hubris they've grown complacent, presenting us with a golden opportunity. And we will take it, adventurer. We will reclaim our dignity, and with it, our place within those walls. We found her! We found the vein! Wystan, you must come and see. Already? Amazing! We leave at once! You should join me, my friend. Come and bear witness to history in the making. Well, that definitely sounds interesting. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Is it you again? Yes, it is. Googaroon Wet Nose. Okay, I think those are really just gibberish syllables. There's plenty of people here, though, so we'll take this out. Ogre Slam. There's our tank. Well, good for you, Ogre Slam. Alright, so after this, I think we're going to end the video, and we'll see what happens with Wystan and his vein in the Silda Ruins, it says over there. We'll see what happens to him next time. We're going to finish up this fight, though. Get a little boost of experience, and then go back into the coffer and cough, and maybe let Aelion have a drink. He might be a drinker. I'm not entirely sure, actually. Somebody's chocobo's name's Handsome Jack. I love Borderlands. Alrighty, he's just about done. And there we go. Haha, victory! 1100 experience. Nicely done. Alright, we'll let Aelion sit down here and order a drink. And I'll see you next time. So, have a good one. Bye, Aelion. Bye-bye.